fairy tale for Andrea Danis. Something to ponder. Once upon a time, there was an innocent and decent young lady that looked just like one of your daughters. She was working at a high-end seafood restaurant to help pay her expenses for college. One night, a customer came in that looked exactly like you. The customer ordered the restaurant's specialty, oysters. The hard-working daughter, doing her job, took the order and delivered the oysters to the customer. Upon eating the first oyster, the customer had a mild allergic reaction and insisted the paramedics be called to the restaurant. They ascertained that she was in no danger. Fortunately, no real harm had come to the customer. For most people, that incident would be an interesting story to tell their friends. But this is no ordinary customer. Soon after the night at the restaurant, the customer, a bitter, ignorant, and spiteful sort, wanted to blame someone. So even though no harm had come to the customer, she went looking for a sleazy TMZ wannabe TV personality that claimed to be an investigative reporter. Since her story was kind of boring, the customer embellished a bit, lied about a few things, and made sure to not take any responsibility for her own actions or decisions. Since there was a seafood pandemic going on at the time, the sleazy personality knew he could get lots of people to watch something related to the pandemic, so he agreed to make up a story along with the customer. Since a story about someone having an allergic reaction to oysters wasn't very exciting, he had to have a hook. Something that would create fear in the poor people who thought what he said on TV was news. He had it. A conspiracy by the seafood restaurant and the waitress to purposely make all their customers sick by poisoning them with oysters. Now he just needed to make up some stuff and carefully manipulate what was said and shown to make it seem plausible and possible. First, he found a homeless man that wanted to be on TV and was willing to say that if there was a conspiracy, that would be a bad thing. Wow, what cutting-edge journalism. Unfortunately for the sleazy personality, since there was no evidence of a conspiracy or anyone other than the customer who stepped forward, he was forced to make up the story. The next step was to locate a receptionist in a medical clinic that would tell everybody listening that if someone who was allergic to shellfish ate an oyster, they would get sick. The problem is that because the restaurant knew this, they had a warning on their menu that explained that fact to all the customers who would bother to read it. Guess who didn't bother to read it? And then, the icing on the cake. Imply that legal authorities are somehow involved in the story. Guess what happens if you call a law enforcement agency or governing board and ask, if someone commits a crime, will you investigate it? They couldn't say no, could they? Now all the sleazy personality needed to do was make sure that everything he said and showed on the TV made it seem like a ruthless criminal, the waitress, was a mastermind trying to poison every customer of the seafood restaurant for profit and personal gain, when in fact, all she had done was her job, take the order and deliver the plate to the table. That would make for a good fairy tale, except for the final straw. The customer had been told by her doctor that she was allergic to shellfish, ordered them anyway, and then tried to blame the waitress when she had the normal reaction. Unfortunately, in this fairy tale, the evil customer, the sleazy personality, the homeless man, and the receptionist all get away with their deceit, leaving the daughter to try and repair her reputation. The end.